Good evening, everybody. My name is Diane McKendrick and I'm from the Oil Sisters. And I'm absolutely honoured tonight to run the team call for Zac and Anastasia, who are in transition on their way back from Sydney. So for those of you who don't know, I'm guessing most of you do, we had convention over the weekend. So 4,500 of the oily doTERRians got to meet at the Sydney Convention Centre, and I thought it would be a really great opportunity for this call to be about convention, my experience of it, my takeaways from it, and if you went, what yours were, and get you thinking about that. And if you didn't have the opportunity to go this year, just feeling into how it would feel for you to be there with us next year. So I also love to add in a little bit of information about essential oils. I'm not sure how Anastasia runs the calls, but I know last time I did one for her, it was 30 minutes on a product or a beautiful essential oil, and then 30 minutes of content outside in business stuff. So what I might do is just make my own little version of that if you're all really okay with that. And we'll start with passion oil. So passion oil is one of my favourites. If you've got it there now, open it up and just pop some on, because one of my favourite things to do is anchor with essential oils. So a lot of you will know this, but just as a bit of a refresher for the newbies, when you smell something, it goes up through your olfactory system, which is your smell, goes into your limbic system and lights up those parts of the brain that are responsible for things like your blood pressure, your heart rate, and things like that. So if you can smell something and it can have that physiological effect on your body, it's just science that it can help either calm it down or build it up or shift and change things. So me being, how would we say it, little pixie, I suppose, and really loving adding the spirituality and the science together, I feel like that's where it goes power for me, is getting the best of both worlds. So really feeling into the spirituality side of things and how things feel, and, connecting into my higher purpose and my higher self, combined with just the cellular structure and science of how essential oils work, is really powerful to me. So with something like, because I'm a life coach, and what I've noticed in people's life is quite often things, behaviours and states are triggered, and they're anchored to a certain behaviour or anchored to a certain trigger. So if something happens in your life, and it's happening all day, every day, we just don't recognise it and realise it and conscious of it. So usually something happens which we would call a trigger, and you can just go into how you might be able to relate to this now. So for me, it was going into rush or overwhelm. Some people it's getting into anger. Other people it might be, an unresourceful state, and you realise that you get into it and you behave that way, or you're in that state before you recognise that you're there. So what I love to do for people is help anchor in a resourceful state, because like I said, it's happening all through our life and happening every day anyway. So if we can anchor in the trigger, and we know what the trigger is, and then anchor it to a resourceful state, like something like love or courage or confidence or whatever it is you want more in your life, what can happen instantaneously is you have a smell of that oil, goes up through the limbic system, lights that part of your brain up, and then puts you into the subconscious state of the resourceful state that you want. So what we can do for people is and you can even do it now. If you've got your passion oil there, just grab it and apply some to your wrists or wherever you like. Some people like to pop essential oils behind their ears. You can put it on the wrist, on the back of your neck. This is one I really like to wear for perfume as well, or pure fumes as we call them. Other thing that you can do is just put a drop in your hand. Drop in your hand, rub your hands together, close your eyes, and just smell. And really just absorb that smell in. And as you're smelling, just think of a time in your life where you have felt really confident or really courageous or really loved or loving. Pick a resourceful state that you would like to feel more of. And then you go back through that memory. And when it's heightened and you can completely feel that love or the gratitude or the courage, you take a big smell Yeah, so if we were working one-on-one, what I could do is I'd watch how you shift and change in your face. And as we get to the heightened moment of that memory, it's when we anchor in the smell. So I always love to offer what I do as a life coach because it's my mission for you to be able to do it without me there. So if I can give you the little tips and tricks of bringing the science and spirituality together, and then how to complement with that with your essential oils, you can change your life instantly. So it's not minimizing what people are going through or not minimizing what people are going through, but when you know the ways and you're supported and you have the right tools at your fingertips, you can shift and change from an unresourceful state, which for me was a really long time. I had very severe anxious feelings, and really severe depression as well. So I do public speaking engagements now and how I've gone from that space into a space where I can present in front of, however many people want to come and listen. Pretty much I can get up and do it. It doesn't mean the fear's not there or the little fluttery heart's not there, but I do things in those moments like use my essential oils, do my EFT tapping, and just connecting with my higher self and my message. And then it's not about me, it's about you, it's about the people in the audience. So wherever you are in your life, you're really clear about where you're going. You can use these little tools and tricks to help you get there. And I'll wind that into some other manifesting tips at the end of the call. But for now, passion. What I'd love to do is give you a little bit more tips about passion. So passion is, I guess, some people would hear the word passion and straight away it's like bum chicka wow wow bedroom. So yes, of course it can be used in the bedroom. But something I find it more helpful for, and I use it a lot for, is connecting in with my passion or what I feel creative about or what really lights me up. So if I get in doing mode and I've been really busy, I find I get distracted from my mission or distracted from taking inspired action, and I just start reacting to the world around me. And that sort of sends me into a spiral of chasing my tail. Like I'm sure some of you can, particularly the mums out there that have got mums and businesses and this and that, can relate to that. So for me, passion is about stopping and slowing down, and I have it anchored in, like I've sat down in quiet time and anchored it into my mission and anchored it into what I'm passionate about. So if I find myself going into that mode or I catch myself spiraling around and out of control, and I sit down, I wear my passion, I put it on, and as I was talking about earlier, it lights up that part of my brain that connects me in and spiritually and scientifically just joins all the dots together so I can continue moving forward, really focused and intentional, and creating the life and the connections and the business and the family and all those important areas of my life that I intend to and I want to, not just react to the world around me. I did that for far too long. And from talking to lots of you, I know I still do it sometimes, but I just want to create a different awareness that you're in control and you create your life. And that's a really powerful thought and a really powerful belief to take on. So passion oil, use it in the bedroom if you like, but you can also use it to connect you in with your passion and your higher purpose and your higher self. So I'll just read to you what is in it. Now it's very cinnamony, cinnamony. That's what I can smell when I smell passion. So it's got the cardamom seed in it. It's got cinnamon bark oil. It's got jasmine oil, flower extract, vanilla, and something that I can't say. So it'll prove a little bit hard to make your own. And very, very, very popular. So if you haven't got it yet, grab it, put it on your LRP. You can diffuse it. You can wear it on your skin. I wouldn't ingest this one. I don't think I need to be that passionate about it. But you can put it in your diffuser, put it on your skin, wear it as your perfume, anchor it into that really solid, clear state. And so beautiful, passion. So I'll put that passion down. And I'm going to start the next part of the call. For those of you who are at convention, you'll know this, and those of you who not, I'm going to explain it to you. But there's a technique out there that I've learned recently, and it's really helpful and really hard thing to do. So I'm just going to share it with you now. And the name of it, the scientific name of it, is called a Zac signature breath. And it goes something like this. Deep breath in. And anybody that's hung around or spent time with Zac and Anastasia and the collective of the team will know just how therapeutic that breath is. So if you're on the call now or you're rewatching the recording, we can't see you, that's okay. So what I want you to do is take a deep breath in. And when you let it out, just hear your voice and let yourself vibrate. Yeah, it's so beautiful, and it's such a lovely way just to bring yourself into your body and into your presence. And the power of that, when Zac and Anastasia got up in front of 4,500 people and had us all standing up, like moving our hips like beautiful world goddesses and princes, it was just like the energy and the power was moving and magical. So one of the tools and tips that I've learnt from them, and I continue to use like many times a day, is that really big breath. And to be honest, the first time I heard Zac do it, I was kind of like, hey, what's this guy about? And I think I might have seen it on the internet actually when I was watching one of his videos, and I'm like, oh, I don't know. And I had my judgment and went off into my humanness about what that is and what it means, and oh, that's a bit awkward. But since I've started to do it, it's not just me that it affects. It ripples out, like it's energetic. It ripples out to those people around us. So never underestimate the power of a signature Zac breath. So awesome. If you've got kids, you're probably going to do it more than with people without kids. So teach your kids to do it as well. And also when you do that, I want to anchor in a feeling of support and community and love, and knowing that, you know, if you're going through something tough or hard or challenging, that there's other people out there in that moment going through the same things. So we can draw on that. We can draw on each other as a community, and use your easy air. Easy air is one of my favorites, just a drop in my hand and breathe it in. And then, yeah, just do that big breath out. Sometimes I forget to do it, and I can tell because I'm like, eat, and I'm walking around like this, and I'm like, and then I'll just go, like really relax into it. And take that big breath and let it out. So I wanted to share that because convention was amazing and awesome, and we took so much away from it. But it's intense. It's intense to be out of routine, eating different foods around 4,500 other intense, passionate, like doTERRA groupies. It's awesome. It's one of my favourite things. I wanted to give you my 3 favourite things from convention, and the first and foremost is the culture. And I was having a discussion with my sister Michelle about the culture of doTERRA and the founders, and I don't think until you see and feel this, you can like quite get the grasp and the concept of how deeply these people want to make an impact on the world, and how deeply they just dive into being on the ground and making a difference. So the presenters are just so grounded and out there to make an impact and a difference. I mean, multi-million, billion, trillion-dollar heirs, they don't have to work, but when you hear them speak, you can feel their passion, you can feel the impact. So that's probably one of the biggest takeaways for me is the culture and the support and the love and the authenticity of the leaders of the company. And they're accessible to us. It's not like there's this rank structure where you can't talk to them or you can't walk up to them. And yeah, so that's really beautiful to see those guys and girls out on the ground doing the co-impact sourcing. And just getting out there in Somalia where it's dangerous, and doing the days for girls and doing the healing hands, and yeah, absolutely incredible. The other thing that's my favourite about convention is the community and doTERRA in general. I feel like I've got another family, and so blessed that we can draw on each other's strengths. And like they always say, this is an essential oil business wrapped up in personal development. If you're choosing to do this as a business, you'll get what you think you deserve, and then you'll plateau, and then some work and expansion and growth will have to happen before you move on to the next part. And I always love to offer to my team is if you are running the business, and if you're not, you can look at it in your work or other areas of your life. If your business is stagnated or something's not going well for you in business, what a lot of people do, or in your family or your relationships or whatever that work, whatever the part of the life you're relating it to, and it's not going well, a lot of people put the power on the outside. I did it for myself for years, and I go, my business isn't working. I've got to go out and do more marketing, or I've got to get onto Facebook, or I've got to learn this, or I've got to speak to this person, or I've got to do that. I've got to do something. What I've since realised with doTERRA and the community is that my organisation is a reflection on how I feel about myself. Your relationship is a reflection on how you feel about yourself. Your work situation is a reflection on how you feel about yourself. So instead of going out into my organisation and trying to fix things or do things, I just go inside of me and go, where in my life or where within me am I feeling these things? And quite often what will happen, a theme will come up. And when I shift and change and expand through that, then that's reflected on the outside in my business or relationship or my family. So I just wanted to offer that to you because I know a lot of you that will watch this will be building the organisation, and it's like no other organisation in the world. I can guarantee that. And sometimes you're going to get to a point and it gets really icky and sticky and hard, but then that's just when we go within and we lean into that icky, sticky and hard, because quite often what that means to me is I'm just not aligned. Like I've got this really clear goal or vision, and if things start popping up for me, instead of trying to run away from it or pretending everything's okay, just do the work. Go in and feel where I need to shift and change and expand and grow through stuff. So that's really important. And the community will help you do that. The community is, I've been to a couple of trainings like Jessie's trainings where I've heard all the information a million times. My brain knows the information, but part of me went to the training to observe a few different things. But one of those things was how the greater group, and just talk to people and hear people's experience and hear what people need. And, what I realised, and I guess I knew this before, but it really cemented it for me, what people need is, or what people want and are calling for, is to be seen, to be heard, and to be validated. So that's not me talking and trying to fix their problem or give them an answer or heal something within them. It is like quite literally just standing there and listening to them and seeing them for who they are. So I just wanted to listen and talk and, grasp these things and talk to lots of people, different people from different teams, or didn't talk that much. Actually, I listened a lot. And that's the other little tip as well in building your organisation or relationships, even out of business, is listening with more than your ears. My life changed the day I learned how to do this. Like, people will tell you certain stuff. I do it too, tell you certain stuff. But if you absorb the feeling that you get when you're around them, like not absorb it and take it on as your own, but sort of listen with more than your ears. That's the best way to do it, to say it. Listen with more than your ears and listen to more than the words that they're saying. Their body language will tell you stuff. Their language will tell you stuff. The way they feel will tell you stuff. And that's just a really beautiful way to have people feel seen and heard and validated, because that's what this business is about. And one thing that was said in convention was, I can't even remember who said it, and I've heard it before, but it just cemented it again for me. It's like, what people remember is not what you say or what you offer them. What people remember, and think of your own interactions and other interactions you've had with other people. What people remember is how you make them feel when they leave you. And if you want to be the change in the world, have people leaving you feeling seen, heard, loved up, and just, all the good stuff in life. And the more that you can open that part of yourself and be that person for other people, the more that will be reflected to you as well. So, and that's not to say don't stick up for yourself or stand in your own truth or be disrespected if someone's been an a-hole to you. Stand up for that, but you can do that with really clear boundaries, and you can do it in a really beautiful way that can help you expand and grow and help that other person expand and grow. So, that all started from me talking about community. Don't you love this? Okay, so, and the third takeaway from convention for me was just the connection. Like, it was different this year because there was 4,500 people there, and part of my brain was thinking, I feel really overwhelmed and I feel really, I'm not used to being around so many people. And I sort of let myself go off into that state for a little bit. And then I thought, you know what? It's not feeling good. It's not being resourceful. So I leaned into it, and I thought, how can I change this? A very wise mentor once told me, the quality of the outcome is in the quality of the question. So the questioning that I was at, like, how can I cope with all these millions of people around me when I'm an introvert and I'm this and I'm that? So I was like, okay, the quality of the answer is determined by the quality of the question. How can I rephrase or reframe that question to change the outcome of it and give myself something a bit more resourceful to work with? So I looked around and I saw these 4,500 people. I thought, okay, what question can I change that to? I'm like, well, how can I set really clear energetic boundaries and be here and be present for all these people or whoever I run into, and stand in my own truth, and feel okay about that, and just be in the present moment and offer what I've got to give, and, receive what other people are offering. And the answer came up just like that, just shifted and changed to, there's 4,500 people here. There's an opportunity for a connection and a friendship with every single one of those. Because part of my beef with it all was, right, like I've spent probably 2 years in doTERRA now, and I've made some really incredible, deep, authentic friendships with about, this many people in doTERRA now. But these events were always really good because you'd run into them and you'd catch up, and I was starting to be like, oh, I'm not seeing all my friends. That doesn't feel good. And that then led me into the next thing. And then when I went through that rephrasing question, I was like, I have the possibility and the opportunity 4,500 times to build connections and friendships like those few special people that I have already met in doTERRA. So I went from that scarcity mindset and not feeling good enough and not wanting to be seen to connecting with every single person and the divine trust, like every single person I walk past that I could connect with, instead of being, oh, they're in my way and I'm shuffling in amongst all these people. It's just like, hey, how are you? And what's going on for you? And, even if it wasn't verbal dialogue, I just felt different. And I could feel that, because then instead of shuffling around like this, I walked through and I smiled and I connected and sent that energy out into the people, because we're all the same, we're all one. And I was separating myself from it, and that was not feeling good, so I just changed it. So yeah, the connection's really important, and there's an opportunity, I so feel that may even double next year, because everybody there loved it. Everybody there wants to come back. And yeah, it's just, so powerful. One of the highlights for me at convention, it was all a highlight, but Zac and Anastasia hosted Tai Chi in the park with their greater team, so Oilson and the Oil Sisters and Gutology and Shanae's team and Karen's team. So everybody got together, and there was about 80 of us. And that was really, really, really special. They just took us through Tai Chi, and the sun was setting and we were on the grass, feeling the energy and looking into each other's eyes. And that, for me, had some really big shifts and really big moves. So if you ever get that opportunity to go to one of Zac's classes or Anastasia's classes, or if that's a bit too far away from you, we're going to start hosting similar things. Come along, because the community and the energy that is shared and rippled out when you're with your tribe, that in itself can completely change your life. So I'm just going to check how long I've been talking for. Probably fairly long. I can't see the thing. But anyway, I will probably end the call there. Oh, actually, no, because this is about manifesting as well, so I've got to give you some tips about manifesting. And the first thing I think you need to do in manifesting is get really clear about what it is you want to manifest. So if it is going to convention next year, I don't know where it is yet, but the first thing that we'll do is you pick something that you would like to manifest in your life. So for a certain time, for me, it was a relationship. I worked really hard at manifesting a relationship. Secondly, what else did I manifest? Well, recently, I even manifest my friend with Brooke Bird, who is a lady that introduced me to doTERRA. Let me tell you that story, and then I'll lead you through the tips and tricks that help me get there. So whatever it is in your life that you want, you firstly got to get really clear and really specific about what it is that you want, because the universe will give you exactly what you ask for. And I know that because my previous boyfriend, before my husband, I wrote down this really clear list, and I was really clear about what it was I wanted in a partner. And we ended up breaking up. I was devastated that I was going to get married. Anyway, reread the list in my heartbreak, and the one thing I forgot to put on that list was that he loves me for me. So I rewrote that list quick, smart, and within days of doing that, even though I was heartbroken, I was going through the heartbreak of, I was in a pretty rotten place actually, but just going through that, I met Gus, and the difference, like looking back now, the main difference between Gus and every other guy or boyfriend I was with is that that man loves me for me. Like I could wear a potato sack, he doesn't care. I can be a-hole moments, he doesn't care. He just supports me and loves me in all my facets, in all my shadows, in all my, but I had to do that for myself first. But so the first thing you do is got to get really, really, really clear and understand it's a growing, moving thing. It's going to be moving and changing. You're going to be growing into it. So whatever you feel like you want in your life right now, get really, really, really clear about it and write it down. I also started like voice recording myself. So when I started my business and I called in all these certain type of clients, I wanted to help people. So I had all these people rock up that had all these problems that I could help. But a lot of them I was noticing through pulling my hair out. Like I was giving them all the information. I was doing sessions with them, but they weren't shifting and changing. So I had to grow with that. And I have to say, or I chose to change that to, I want to work with people, my perfect clients are people that I can help and that want to be helped. You see the difference? So I'd called in what I actually wanted for, and then I started pulling my hair out because I just weren't taking my offerings, and they weren't, so it was a real struggle. So be really, really, really clear about it, and that will grow with you. And when I met Brooke, I literally, I was a personal trainer at the time, training probably 50 mums a week. So I had lots of friends, but no one I could really go to, or I was always the go-to person. And I'd said to Gus that week before, I was like, I really just want a friend that I can rock up on their doorstep, like walking distance, because that's pretty much impossible around here. You've got to drive everywhere. I want to be able to walk there. I want similar age children, someone that gets me, and someone I can rock up on their doorstep in pajamas with a bottle of wine and chocolate if need be, and sit and chat and laugh and have one glass if we feel like it, or two, or the whole bottle, and there's no judgment. And I just spoke into that, and I was really clear about it. And seriously, the next week I met Brooke at Woolies, where none of us barely ever go ever in the health food aisle. And our friendship is that friendship. So get really clear and really specific about what it is that you want. The second thing I feel that's really important in manifesting is cultivating the feeling that you have when you've got that. Because what a lot of us do when we do vision boards and stuff like that is we get the house and the car and the tangible things that we want, and we put it on the board, and then we put it up, and that's where it ends. So for me, it's about putting up, more so than the tangible things that I want, I get deeper, and I'm like, okay, how do I want to feel when I wake up in the morning? Or when I get that, car's not a good example for me because that just doesn't. So when I get that, or that health, how am I going to feel? I really value my health. So I dig deeper and cultivate that feeling that health or that thing is going to give me. And then I cut out a picture or a word and I put that up there. So we're working on the desired feeling as opposed to the tangible asset that you're going to get. Because so many of us, what we do is go, I'll feel like this when I get that. And then you're putting the power on the outside of you. How about we feel that way first, and then energetically, the outside will match your vibration. So if you want more love or confidence or clarity, then we start feeling like that and peeling back the layers and letting that be more of our norm. And then energetically, the outside world has to match it. So just getting really clear about, one, what it is, and then two, feeling the feeling before you get it. And the other thing I love to do is something called timeline therapy. If anyone's interested in that, I can either do a group call on it. But basically, we use essential oils, but we also, your brain doesn't recognise the difference. Listen to this. This is really powerful. Your brain does not recognise the difference between something vividly imagined with all your senses and something that's actually happened. So you logging on to this call tonight, which is an actual memory and you've done it, is the same to your brain as going to bed tonight, which you haven't done yet. The thing that makes the difference is the emotion we choose to put with it as a human. But can you imagine the power of that in manifestation? It's quantum physics. So if we can take you through timeline therapy and drop you into a moment or a memory or a visualization of something in the future that's really clear with the desired feeling and all your senses added, the real time just has to catch up. And that's what I say to myself and all my diamonds, the people in our organisation that are going for a certain rank, usually it's diamond, is you already are. Let's feel that. Let's act that. Real time just has to catch up. And when I say that, you feel people go, oh, their shoulders drop down, and I'm like, accept it, believe it, love it, just be it, and real time will catch up. It has to happen. So something called timeline therapy, it's just got me, so many things, and it's such a good feeling. So the concept is, I'll do it for you one day. I'll do it for you all on a group call. What's the other thing in manifestation is I do all my tapping as well, EFT tapping if I get doubts or uncertainties. And the other thing with my relationship, and it is the same with other areas of your life, I get really clear about what I want. And if it was in a relationship, I then ask myself, who do I need to be to attract that person? Like if I wanted someone loyal and loving and reliable and honest and healthy and free with their time, and I'm sitting on the couch eating Maccas and watching TV and telling my friends I can't come because, I don't know, I'm cooking dinner and just telling fibs, and I'm not matching that energetic vibration. So it's like, who do I need to be? How do I shift and change, to go there and be that and embrace it and embody it? So I do need to find out how much time we've got, because I could probably just do timeline therapy for you now, but I don't want it to cut off in the middle. What we might do is we'll just do a short version of it, because I think it's really relevant for where a lot of people are right now. So if you just want to close down your eyes for a second, take a big Zac breath. And what I want you to do is pick a goal. I don't know if a goal's the right word, an outcome that you want in the future, and get really clear about the moment in time that you know that has happened. So for me, I manifested, I had a 15-month-old baby, and I wanted to go to America and do past life regression. It was going to cost $20,000. I was going to have a baby, and they weren't allowed babies on campus. So I needed a nanny. I needed all this money. I needed flights. I needed to get into the course because there's only 100 people accepted, and there was over 500 on the waiting list. So when I did this, I imagined myself being up on stage amongst that 100 people, and this is the moment I knew I was there. When I was getting hypnotised by Brian Weiss, who's just the best past life regressionist, and my child was being looked after, and I could be totally present and be in that moment. So it was like a total impossibility in my human brain. But yeah, that was the moment that I worked with. So I want you to pick a very, very clear moment in time that you know that whatever it is you're calling in has just arrived. So I'll just give you a second to access that. Now I'm going to give you a magic carpet, and I want you to step onto it and come up, 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 up out of your body and float over the top. And I want you to look into the future. So it's like we're making a timeline now of your timeline. So is the future ahead of you, behind you, beside you? So just form that now. And then notice on that line where the past is. Is it behind you, beside you, underneath you? And so you've got wherever the future is, you've got where the past is. Now just drop yourself on that line in the very present moment, and where's that? So what we're going to do next is you're going to go up, up, up over this timeline and float over that moment in time that you know you received, or you know you're living out, or you've achieved that outcome or that goal, that desired feeling, and you're going to just look over it like it's happening. And then you're going to come down, 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 back to the earth, bring yourself down and drop yourself right into that moment, that very specific moment. and I want you to see who's there. I want you to hear everything that's going on around you. Really immerse yourself in it. How are you feeling? Have you got this feeling in your chest? Is it a phone call? Is it a look in the mirror? Is it a conversation? Just be there now. Just experience it like it's happening to you right now. What can you smell? What noises can you hear even outside the noises that you can hear? Just go through the whole thing. And bring all that back up onto the timeline. So bring that experience, that feeling, those interactions up to the timeline. And now I want you to go even further into the future. And you're going to come back down to the ground and turn around and look through that moment as though it's already happened. So looking back through it as though it's already happened, how does the feeling change? How does that feeling change? Okay, now bring yourself back up and you're going to come back over to the moment that it happened, and you're going to look down on it and watch it like you're watching a movie. So watch yourself, watch your posture. How are you standing or sitting? How are you breathing? Are you deep breathing? Or are you short breathing? Just watch yourself. Watch the characteristics. Watch how you're speaking. Watch how you're holding yourself. Watch it like you're watching a movie. And then you're going to zap up any qualities or characteristics in that person down there that you might need. Just zap them up to you. And then you're going to come all the way back over to where you are right now. You're just going to come down and bring that magic carpet back in and just integrate all those experiences. And then slowly open your eyes. And now real time just has to catch up. But you can do that yourself. It's a really, really cool, powerful technique to help you manifest some really awesome stuff in life. So use your essential oils as well to anchor in that feeling. And the question that I want you to revisit, and I can't really do it on this platform, but or you could just write in the chat box, what was the feeling or the overall feeling when you look back through it and as though you've already achieved it? Because the feedback I get from most people is like there's a sense of anticipation or anxiety or uncertainty before they get there, but when they go past, they achieve it, they do it, they go past it, and they look back through it. It's like, is that all? Next? What's next? So yeah, just ask yourself and really check in and tune into that moment when I said, look back through it as though it's already happened. Yeah, just how you felt when you did that. So manifesting, what else do I do? Yeah, the biggest thing, get clear. And if it's, you want to talk on stage at convention, that's fine. See yourself, feel yourself up there. If it's that you want to get to convention, and be comfortable and have the kids looked after. If it's a relationship, it could be that perfect partner. It could be with your health. So just go into your values and I like to start with the icky bit first. And we all have different values in our life and things that mean different amounts to us. But I started with my health, and that's because I got to a point where it was reflected to me that there was some really deep-seated commitment to myself that needed to work there. So that's carried forward for me now into my values. Is my health is one of the most important things. And then, we just continue to go through that with life. So I might call that a night. Thank you, Zac and Anastasia, so much for having me on and sharing with the beautiful collective team tonight. If anybody would like any further information on the life coaching or the sacred business or however I can help in a group setting or one-on-one, you can just like us on Facebook or send me a message, the Oil Sisters. And it's time for me. I just sort of walked in the door and my beautiful husband that I manifested had dinner ready for me. And I ate that and laid with the kids and came in here. And I'm manifesting a glass of wine when I go out there and to sit with him for half an hour and just chat and debrief on our day. So, just wishing you all the best, and thank you for those, Beck, being here with me right now, and everybody else that's tuning in and watching this later. Thank you so much for holding the space for me to present. And, I love hearts. And I really look forward to, doing life and business. Oh, that's beautiful. with all of you, and yeah, just watching the magic unfold, because that's what this company is. It's magic, and that's what the people are in it, and you're part of it. So yeah, enjoy.